Men who like to keep their morning routine simple will love these multi-for-him gummies, specially formulated with 12 key nutrients designed to support men's daily nutritional needs. Nature-made multi-for-him gummies help support muscle and bone health. It improves your immune health, and it increases your energy metabolism. With the quality you can trust, Nature-made multi-for-him gummies have no artificial flavors, no synthetic dyes, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners, and is gluten-free. Pharmacists around the world have recommended Nature-Made to be the #1 vitamin and supplement brand. So when you need something that's going to help you get you through the day, when you need something that's going to increase your energy to help you get you through that workout, to make you perform as an elite athlete at the top of your ability, try Nature-Made multi-for-him gummies, because you don't want to stop.
To the 12th round.
Hey yo, welcome to the Terror Dome. You should be heading home, cause you could bring all of your ninjas and the Technodrome. I rip right through your flesh and bone and mental capacity. Flood your mind with atrocities and copious tragedies. This dark Sabbath is a lesson in street. The whole church of the ghetto feel the words when I preach. Amen. Let the Lord say a prayer for they don't end up in front of someone banging their trigger. Living life like a war pig. Fuck the law, I'm getting mine. Let the others figure what the cost is. Purchasing the fortress on gorgeous acres enormous. Car park full of foreigners and women just waiting on us. We living the dream. Y'all living like hell is earthbound. We are not the same. You've been a lame since birth, pal. I don't feel sorry. I recommend they go dirt bound. Doggy dog world, and you've been looking like Chuck Brown.
Well, beautiful people, best damn nation. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It is the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. I am your humble host, Brian Renegade, and with me, I have the best damn crew. First of all, if you see this man outside in the parking lot, running your car, lock your damn doors, he would throw your ass in the trash can. He is the green-eyed bandit. He fights people. Sometimes he bites people. He's a mama's favorite wrestler, and he can whoop your daddy ass, the one and only Roosevelt, the fighter. What's happening?
Yo, Brian, let me tell you, man. I went to the gym for about 4 hours a day just so I can be ready and look like I'm done something with my life because of our guest today, bro. It's about to be hot and heavy in here. We about to see what's going on. But first of all, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling? What my nephew doing?
Oh, man, I'm blessed and highly favored. And he's quiet right now, so don't wake him up. Why you always got to bother him when he's trying to sleep?
Because I'm his favorite uncle. That's why.
Oh, man, he good. You know what I'm saying? Just getting strong every day. I officially this morning, I meant to tell you, I put him in some wrestling moves this morning. So I F5'd him onto the pillows on the bed. You know what I'm saying? Did a mean German suplex like I guessed. You know what I'm saying? So you would have been proud of me. You know what I'm saying? But it's only for so long that I can do that before he starts to, wail on daddy. You know what I mean? Because he slapped me like a grown man the other day. I ain't like it at all. I almost pulled out the pistol. I forgot he was my son for a second. Why you slap me again? Oh man, but listen, I'm so excited. We have a great guest on the show tonight. I've been so impressed with the work that he's been doing. I'm a fan of his work, man, and I'm so excited to have him on here. Please, Roosevelt, do due diligence and introduce our esteemed guest before he slap the shit out you. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the reason why he is the reason why I am the way I am today. You know what I'm saying? From the moment that I met him, 14 years ago. It's been about 14 years since I know this gentleman. And anytime I've stepped in the ring with him, anytime I've been in a locker room with him, I've always pushed up my chest and made myself elevate to a higher standard and a higher level. You guys hear me talk about it all the time, how I'm Goku, and he is the Vegeta to my Goku. He is the Akuma to my Ryu, man. He's the utmost respected individual in the game worldwide. I don't care what nobody say. There ain't nobody in this game that would step up to this man and act like they got no sense. Everybody will walk up and like, yo, you know what? You deserve the honor. And I am very honored to introduce our guest and having one here today, Mr. Joe Black.
Hey.
What up, y'all? Where the fiends at? What up? Man, that introduction made me want to go lift some more weights.
You already got muscles on muscles, man. You can't take off. You don't need no more muscles.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Oh man, I see you got the black Ula follow on. You know what I'm saying? The beads.
Yes, sir. Gotta represent.
Absolutely. And just for people who are sleeping under a rock, what kind of beads are those? What they represent?
These, I mean, they've been called many things. O'Shea considers them to be battle beads, but they're literally Akuma beads because I'm a Street Fighter mark. And they represent, I guess, a lot of things to a lot of different members of the Pantheon. But to me, they just dope. That's why I put them on.
Absolutely. I want to get me a pair so bad, but I don't just want to buy them. I want to be bestowed upon me. You know what I'm saying? Placed on me. You know what I mean?
I got you, brother.
Who I got to knock out? Just let me know.
I got you in August. No worries. I got you.
Absolutely, man. So let's go ahead and get started with it, man. I always ask this question, and it's different for all of our guests. But Mr. Joe Black, when did you fall in love with wrestling?
Man, so I think I was 5 years old. I might have been 5 or 6. And I saw it was SummerSlam 91, I want to say. It was Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker. And as a kid, I never liked Hulk Hogan. So, I mean, I know it's trendy not to like Hogan now. I never liked Hogan. I was always a Macho Man guy. I saw The Undertaker, and there's something about him that kind of, the mysticism drew me into it. And that's when I realized that while wrestling is dope because what you see in the ring, the theatrics that surrounds it is equally as dope. And that was the day, I want to say, when Taker beat Hogan for the WWF Championship. That was the day I fell in love with pro wrestling.
Absolutely. That's a great reference point. You know what I'm saying? That's just like asking somebody, when did they fall in love with hip hop and they can pinpoint. And I remember I asked somebody, I'm gonna ask you that too, but I asked somebody that was young, and they was like, "Oh, I fell in love with hip hop listening to the Nelly's Country Grammar." I was like, "Nelly's Country Grammar? That was your first hip hop experience?" Oh man, I felt so old. I felt so old, man. But that's awesome. Well, with the Jason question that I just asked, man, it seems like you're a hip hop lover, man. When did your love for hip hop start?
When I heard It Ain't Hard to Tell, I excel, then prevail. The mic is contacted, I attract clientele. When I heard Ain't Hard to Tell by Nas as a kid, I didn't understand what that brother was kicking at the time, but it just sounded, just the cadence, the rhythm, the lyrics just sounded so dope. And ever since Nas introduced me, my father was like, yo, if you listen to Nas, you should listen to Rakim. And from Rakim, it went to Ice Cube. From Ice Cube, I was introduced to Bone Thugs and Harmony and, you know, Outkast. I think the first song I memorized was Gangsta's Paradise by Coolio. And then I was introduced to Tupac. And when I was introduced to Tupac, I fell head over heels in love with hip hop.
Absolutely. So you got some great reference points from hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you a question along that same note, man. Who do you feel like is the most underrated lyricist in all of hip hop?
Inspect the Deck from Wu-Tang Clan. Easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
And if you don't believe me,
Yeah.
go listen to that Triumph verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So listen to that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
did that. I did that. Absolutely. Go ahead, Roosevelt.
Running back to professional wrestling, when and where did you cut your teeth?
It was CWF Mid-Atlantic in Burlington. I was working at Walmart. I was in school at the time. I was working overnight stocking at a Walmart in Greensboro, North Carolina. I met a cat named Eric Royal. At the time, I did not think I didn't know, I was completely ignorant to how wrestling worked. I didn't know there was pro wrestling schools you could attend, and I didn't think there'd be one in North Carolina. He told me he was going to start the one in Burlington. I tagged along to a show. It was Sumner Civitan. It was literally right down the road from my mom's crib. It was at a park. I got to set up the ring. I got to step into a ring. And ever since then, since 2008, I've been along for the ride. But, it started with CWF Mid-Atlantic and Burlington.
Absolutely.
You mentioned on other shows people that you've had the opportunity to kind of learn from, and one of them was the individuals you just had an amazing match with, and that was Mark James. And Mark James has also mentioned you when we had him on as a guest. Talk about the influence Mark James had on your professional wrestling career.
Oh, sticks. Well, one of my OGs is William Huckabee, and Huckabee's OG was Mark James. So I met Mark James long before I met William Huckabee. But when everybody was flocking towards, Trevor Lee or, Andrew Everett or Ced or Caleb Conley, Mark James pulled me to the side and said, I see what you're trying to do. I can see the passion. I can see, where your head is. Let me help you along with the technique. Let me make sure that your head stays in the right place. And the way that people like me have to learn sometimes, because I got a lot of pride, and sometimes I'm very rebellious, he kicked the shit out of me for years. And eventually, it really sunk in. So, Mark James, under his tutelage, I learned not what to do in wrestling, but why I should do what I do in wrestling. And that why sometimes is the bridge that helps you get to wherever you're trying to get to. And because of Mark James, I learned my why.
Absolutely. Now to piggyback off of what Roosevelt was saying, man, you guys put on one hell of a fight at the Newborn Wrestling event in Nightdale. And what I remember most about it is the promo that you cut after that. And I'm gonna tell you to your face, that was one of the best promos that I've ever seen. And it felt so real that I get goosebumps when I watch it. You know what I'm saying? And man, if you would allow me, I just want to play a little clip of that, and I just want to get your response off of that real quick. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
All right.
This is the part. Excuse me, fellas. I don't mean to break up. I don't mean to break up the collaboration. This is the part where I say something like, with a tear in my eye, and I gloat and I brag about how glorious and great a moment this is. But Mark James, you got something right. You got something right in your promo when you said Joe Black should have been signed years ago. I should be on TV. I should have been there with Cedric. I should have been there with Trevor. I came up with them, but instead, I'm relegated to the indies. I'm relegated to a pay envelope, and I gotta wait for the pay window to open every damn match instead of getting the cash check with my name on it. You know how much I lost this year, Mark? I know you probably don't know. I don't talk about my struggles. I'm about to be homeless next month. I don't even have a car to get to my bookings next month. The one thing I really cherished about this world, I lost because of my pride and my arrogance. So you damn right, I should have been signed, but I'm not. Best years are behind me. So with that being said, if I can't be on the TV, if I can't be betting model chicks, then I'm gonna take over the independent scene and I'm gonna burn this bitch to smoldering ash in my footfalls. Because now it's not about glory. Now it's not about brownie points. It's not about proving anybody right or proving myself wrong. It's about making as much money and causing as much bedlam as humanly possible because I'm fucking miserable and I want the world to feel my pain. Do not appeal to my heart because the beasts have already devoured it. Savvy?
Shit.
That was on one.
Man, made me feel something.
And see, that's
Man.
something that you cannot say is a promo. A promo is something that you're promoting something for fans to come and see. That was Joe Black. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that when he says I should have been on TV, that's something they need to have on TV. If they want to make some money, you put something like that on TV. Because you're going to have people be like, you know what? I believe every damn thing that man said. So whoever he get in the ring with, I hate it for him. And the biggest thing, and I know I don't want to take too much time from Joe, but the biggest thing is whatever he says, when you see him in the ring, it follows. It follows. It's not like he's talking big and then you get in the ring with him and it's like, no, it's all day. So, yeah, honor to you, bro. Honor to you.
Absolutely, man. What made you cut that promo? And it was a lot of passion in that. You could feel that. What are your thoughts on that promo?
I heard Shock G, rest in peace, Shock G from Digital Underground. He was like describing different rappers and their flow and their cadence and how Slick Rick and Nas rap from the nasal palate and how Biggie was like a jazz singer, how he rocked with the beat, and how Tupac, when he rapped from his gut, kind of like how Martin Luther King would speak from his gut. And I just felt sometimes it's like Martin Luther King said, the calling to speak is often a vocation of agony, but we must speak. I felt it in my gut, like there's something I need to say. It wasn't planned. It wasn't something that I memorized beforehand. It was coming from a very real place of agony, of pain. And with me, the reason I don't do a lot of promos is because when I speak, I want it to resonate. I want people to hear my words and think, okay, he's not trying to, just like Roosevelt said, he's not just trying to promote the match to get me to spend my money. He wants to evoke something in me that's some sense of relatability. So that promo came from a place of very real pain. I don't alienate who I am in the real world from what I do in wrestling. I blend the two together. It's not always seamless. It's not always clean. But if I'm feeling something and it's going to lend an edge to my words, I'm going to use it. So I was going through some things at the time and I felt, why not use, a little bit of that pain from what I'm going through and speak and see what comes out. And that's what came out. It was probably the best promo I ever cut in 17 years.
Man, I don't know about the rest of your promos, but that one right there is top tier. And that is a skill that cannot be taught. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you pulled that from the good. My only question is, have you been bidding model chicks like you stated?
A real G never kisses and tells.
Okay, I got you. I was just trying to see if that happened or not. You know what I'm saying? I was going, that's my boy. My boy did it. Yeah, all right. Absolutely, man. But yeah, that had so much feeling and soul in it, man. I want to see you cut more promos like that. Just because I had a connection to it where I was like, oh snap. this guy is something different. You know what I'm saying? Something different. And then I don't know if you noticed it, man, but your mannerisms and facial expressions changed, you know what I'm saying, throughout the promo. And I was like, oh, at the end of it, I'm gonna burn this bit to the ground. I believe that. You know what I'm saying? But the way that you were able to use that character and shift, I'm not sure if that's what your character entails right now, but bro, you just struck gold. And like I say, I definitely want to see more from you. What does your passion come from nowadays?
That's a good question. I just think at this point, after 17 years, there's nothing left to prove, at least for me. The bulk of my career has been spent trying to prove people wrong. I'm the short guy. When I started, I was 125 pounds, soaking wet. And then I had to prove to people that, I deserved to be in the ring with them. And then once I proved that, I had to prove that, I was worthy to have the mentors that I had to get the matches that I was gifted to have. And now it's at this point where it's just like, it's time to prove it to myself. For 17 years, I've been trying to prove it to everybody else. I did that. But there's still a part of me that I don't believe, that I'm still at that level yet. So now the whole thing is about proving it to myself. And because of that, because I've removed everybody else from the equation and I put myself in the forefront, in the center of this thing, it's unlocked a whole different dimension of creativity and passion that I did not know I still possessed. Because I had that when I started. It was like raw and visceral and feral almost, but I thought I lost that edge. But when I resigned myself that I got to do it for me now, that just unlocked that side of me. So I'm at the point where the passion comes from, it's about me now. I'm doing it for me, nobody else.
Absolutely. You mentioned very heavily that you should have been signed, and anybody that's ever seen you in a ring would definitely stand 10 toes down on that. I stand 10 toes down on that. You've had big opportunities with Ring of Honor and NXT, and I remember because I was there with you.
Mm-hmm.
It was like right there. It was right there when you felt like, yo, they about to hand us a piece of paper. You know what I'm saying? Tell us, what was that feeling like, having those opportunities of doing those travels for Ring of Honor and getting so close, and then the shit just hit the fan?
I'll tell you, the coolest thing for my Ring of Honor travels is two things. The first thing is me and you were in the car going down to Florida, and we were late. And the second we walked into the building, the first face we saw was Jay Lethal. And Jay was like, "Oh, Vic, Joe, glad for you guys to finally grace us with your presence." And it's just like, for me, I kind of marked out inside. I'm like, yo, this is Jay Lethal. And he knows our name. Like, that's dope. And then the second cool moment is I shared the locker room with Jushin Thunder Liger, and it just tripped me out. It was dope because Steve Corino, both of our OG, he believed in me enough that I didn't even have to pay for the Ring of Honor camp. He introduced me to Kevin Kelly, and Kevin asked me, "Are you coming to the camp?" And I just moved down to Atlanta. I had no money, and I told him yes. And to me, I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna get the money from. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. And I said, "Yes, sir, I'll be there." And he said, "Don't bullshit me." And I doubled down, said, "I'll be there." And Steve said, "Don't worry about it. Just show up." I showed up. Anyone who's done a Ring of Honor camp, they have world champions, former world champions, some of the greatest wrestlers in the world now. Was my panel. I did a match, and they said yes or no, and everybody said yes. And for me, I really thought at that moment, I'm in the door. I'm getting checks from Sinclair Broadcasting with my name on it. People are looking at me crazy because the other extras, they ain't getting paid, but I am. I'm being told, don't help with the ring. I'm thinking like I'm getting there. Steve told me, I'm gonna get you in the, top prospect tournament. They did a show in Center Stage, and that was supposed to be, I had a match. It was me, John Skyler, Corey Hollis against the Kingdom. And that was my coming out party, so to speak. And the first thing I did was the last thing I did. I took a triple power bomb on the floor, and that was it. And I have my theories about why that happened. But, one of the first faces I ran into was Shane Taylor. And Shane, because he could see that I was a little upset. He said the only thing people are going to remember from that match is that powerbomb you took. So, once Boss Carino went to NXT, I kind of figured like that was probably going to be it at Ring of Honor. The NXT stuff, it was just cool for me to meet Shawn Michaels and have Matt Bloom track me down to tell me thank you for taking care of, the guy that they were trying to put over at the time. And that was just a cool experience. I didn't really expect too much from that, but it was cool to have a tryout in the SmackDown ring. It was cool that I got to do it with James Drake. It was even cooler that James Drake and me got pulled aside by AJ Styles, who was watching. He didn't pull anybody else to the side. He pulled me and James Drake to the side. I won't say what he told us, but he dropped some gems on us, and I'm sure that helped James get the AEW. And sometimes it gets snatched away, but sometimes the journey and just being there, that's cool enough. So I'm just glad that I had those experiences because a lot of people don't get those.
Absolutely.
Don't worry, man. I see something is changing for you. I don't know if you, and this is coming through me. That's why I'm saying it. Something is changing for you, and there's a shift that's going to happen where there's going to be a lot of eyes on Joe Black. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what it is. We got something about this show. Like every time somebody, either right before somebody come on or right after. Am I lying, Roosevelt? People always win a championship or an opportunity of some sort. And I am not lying to you. Every single guest that we've had that's been a wrestler has had that. Like, we can honestly say that. I don't know what it is, but I know that something is shifting for you, brother. And like I said, I'm a fan ever since I saw Eyes, and I was like, oh, this guy is really going at it, man. So kudos to you and all your hard work, and your journey is not over. I think that it's really just beginning.
Thank you for that, King. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Talk about the Pantheon real quick, man. I think that you brothers are doing something that I've never seen before, and there's a momentum and an air about being in the Pantheon and how you guys are taking over the independent scene, man. Can you talk about your group real quick?
It's crazy to me because when I first started wearing some beads, they were much. Roosevelt probably remembers they were much smaller than this. And I just found them on Etsy because Steve Carino told me, hey, find something that makes you stand out. I was wearing like a shamag around my waist because it just looked different, made me look tribal, sort of. He said, find something that complements that look. And I was scrolling through Etsy and I found Akuma beads, and that's what they were named. And like I said, I'm a Street Fighter mark. I was like, Akuma, yeah, that's my favorite character from Street Fighter. I'll get them. And I started to wear them. And then, gradually they increased in size. And then I had a match with O'Shea Edwards in Mississippi. And it's something that compelled me at the end of this match. Like, this kid's going to be something. It's a quality in him that I can't really put my finger on, but I just gave him the beads instinctively. It wasn't something that I planned to do. I just said, hey, you'll be able to take these places I'll never be able to take them to. So take them and make it your own thing. And it didn't really become a thing with bequeathing the beads to someone until I wrestled Timmy in Viral Pro Wrestling here in Georgia. And I gave him the beads before the match. And I said, I just came back from a torn Achilles. At that point, I was on my victory lap. I was just finishing things up. That's why I told myself. I gave him the beads and said, yo, I love you. You've always been the guy that I felt like, was going to be the future of what we do. And he just kind of stood there, and I let him have his moment. And I didn't know at the time why that meant so much to him. And there's a picture that I'm have to find where at the end of the match, I put the beads on his neck again. And, there was an eruption of emotion from him. And that let me know there's something to this. There's a power in this that maybe I don't see because I just wore them for fashion, but maybe these people see. And then the next thing you know, you got Alex Kane. You got Jackson Drake, you got Lee Kenway, you got Merrick Donovan. It takes on a life of its own to where I got guys like Robert Martyr, who's in Japan right now, saying, what do I have to do to get those bees? I got young kids from WWA 4 down here in Georgia saying, hey, when can I wrestle you for these? And I'm just kind of like, it's taking on a life of its own. So the fact that I was able to kind of do something haphazardly and it created a culture over Femi and NXT, you can't tell me brother ain't see me rocking these or O'Shea or Timmy and say, that's dope. I'm gonna try to do that too. It's taking on you. We even got imposters, guys that I've never met before. O'Shea will send in the group chat, do you know this guy? And I'm like, I have no idea who that is. It's people wearing beads, and I don't care. I think it's dope. So I created a movement. And to me, that's the coolest thing ever. And it's a group of guys that Alex Kane is the highest ranked independent wrestler in the world. You know, he was the MLW world champion. And he represents the brand. There's people that never see me work, but they know me because they know O'Shea, they know Alex, they know Jackson Drake, they know Tim. And it's cool. It's that's my legacy. And it's a really cool thing.
That is a really cool thing. I when I first saw O'Shea and Trayvon Ali, I call it the Black Ulafala, and that's what I really feel like it is. I think whenever you give somebody those, it's an acknowledgement of their hard work and their grind and their talents. You know what I'm saying? And then it's bestowing culture onto that person. I say, hey, I want you to carry this culture of strong independent wrestling and have this air about you when you wear these. I'm serious. I'm gonna get me some damn Ulafala beads. I don't care if I'm gonna have to talk. I'm gonna have to talk to my wife. Like, baby, can you give me some Ulafala beads for Christmas? And I'm gonna be rocking them. But you know, and to all the imposters, I told who I don't know which one of y'all told. I said, man, this need to be an exclusive club. Anybody that's wearing them, they need to come through y'all first. You know what I'm saying? Or else, you know, yeah, or you know, some teeth need to be missing. That's pretty much the only option. Straight up. Yeah, but that's awesome that you guys started that lineage, and you know, I'm excited to the new members that you decided to bring on, man, because it's one thing to be a talent, and it's another thing to recognize talent. Where does that eye for recognizing new talent come from?
It's a feeling, and it's usually an inescapable feeling. For example, I was doing an Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment show, and you know, Murder One, he allowed somebody to rap during intermission. And he's probably gonna get mad that I'm bringing this up. Nobody was listening to this kid rap. Nobody cared. Everybody was buying beer, buying liquor. No one listened to this guy. And he told me one day I'm gonna get in this ring and you know, I'm gonna do this thing. I wrestled him at the gaming convention down here in Atlanta too. I shook his hand and he told me, you know, I'm gonna take that picture and I'm gonna frame it because that moment means something to me. And eventually, you know, he wrestled Trevor Lee in Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment. Trevor's one of my, you know, old road dogs. He held his own because Trevor wrestling him, that's a different league, you know, and he was able to survive that. So I got in the ring and I put these around his neck. And that guy's Carly Bravo from AEW. He's a member of the infantry. And there was always something about that kid that, you know, because when you look at it, you think there's a certain archetype of people that wear these. When you see Alex or O'Shea, you know what I'm saying, or Trey and Merrick, you think, okay, there's a certain image. Carly Bravo don't fit that image. You know, the traditional brolic black big dude, you know, Carly, you know, he waffle colored, you know, it's Carly Bravo. But he has that spirit. It's a spirit. And I always feel it. So I always know who's going to get these beads at some point. But don't know when, but I always know who. That's why it usually kills me when these younger guys are like, what do I have to do? And I'm just like, man, you just don't evoke that spirit. But that's all it is. It's a feeling.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your upbringing real quick, man. Where'd you grow up at? And yeah, what was your stomping grounds growing up?
I was born in Sacramento, California. You know, both of my parents were in the Air Force, but I grew up in High Point, North Carolina / Greensboro, North Carolina. Graduated from Smith High School in Greensboro. It's going to be right down the street. from Four Seasons Mall. I used to skip class and go to Four Seasons Mall. That's why that show that's happening is so dope to me. But yeah, I'm a North Carolina boy. Most of my family on my mom's side is still in North Carolina. I was raised all over the world. My little brother was born in Germany. I've lived in Korea for a little bit, been all over the place. But, North Carolina, PD Pablo, raise up.
Absolutely.
You just mentioned the show that we putting on August 17th at the Four Seasons Mall. Tell us what that means to you to be able to go to an inside Four Seasons Mall and wrestle, and I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of family coming through. Like, what does that really mean to you?
You hear people talking about Madison Square Garden, how or Korakuen Hall in Japan. There's certain landmarks that mean something to these guys. Four Seasons Mall, like I said, I would skip class and go to the food court. First time I had bourbon chicken was at Four Seasons Mall. I met, a girl I was with for 9 years at Four Seasons Mall. I discovered I was lethal on the sticks when it came to Tekken 3 in Four Seasons Mall. I got a lot of my gear. I used to go to FYE, and I'm gonna show my age here. There used to be machines, young kids listening to this, and you would scan a CD's barcode, and you would be able to listen like 30 seconds of each of the tracks. That's how you knew what was dope back then. We didn't have Spotify, so I would spend hours there listening to like Big L and Cormega and just listening to music. So to be able to wrestle in that place, to me, that's my Madison Square Garden. I grew up in that mall. A lot of great moments created in that mall. I'm at the game in that mall. It means a lot, and to be able to wrestle in front of my family, it's super dope, super dope.
Yeah, man. Well, speaking of wrestling family, what I mean, on this card, we have thrown around some possible matches for Joe Black. And I think that the one that I'm most excited about is seeing you versus Roosevelt lock up 1-1 in the ring. Now, I know that you've probably had some dealings with Victor Andrews, but I don't think that you've ever been in the ring with Roosevelt. You know what I'm saying? And when this new character Roosevelt arose, he just seemed more cold, more calculated. For some reason, the fans just love this guy every time he comes out in a suit. They lose their freaking minds. You know what I'm saying? So I want to really see this match, if you accept it, against Roosevelt. Is that something that you would be interested in?
Hell yes, I'm in for that.
All right.
I'm
Well,
in for that.
let's go ahead and get the party started. We have a segment on the show that we'd like to do. For some reason, Roosevelt always has some beef, a couple of problems with fellow wrestlers that come on the show. So Joe Black, I know that you got the gift of gab. Your vocabulary is immaculate. You like a young what's his name? The promoter. Don King, like a young Don King in their body. You know what I'm saying? You've been dropping big words. I had to look up in the dictionary, but like, what does that mean? I gotta do some more research on it. But I want you to threaten Roosevelt within an inch of his life during this promo battle. Are you down, sir?
Sure, I'll give it a
All
shot.
right. Who got first?
Go ahead, Roosevelt.
All right.
Okay. All right. Roosevelt got first. Oh man, beautiful people, prepare yourself. This is a segment that we all love. Best damn promos. We are going to war. You gotta unmute. There you go.
For the longest time, Joe, I've watched you. I watched how much you was willing to die for this. And that brought something out of me because I was like, this man right here is the bar. This man is the bar from which I need to exceed. I mentioned earlier that he was like the Vegeta to my Goku. And I kept saying to myself, in fact, just recently I said, why do I keep calling myself Goku when I'm trying to be better than the best? You see, Goku didn't want to be better than the best. He just wanted to be the greatest fighter. He just wanted to know that he could fight against anybody. But I've always just wanted to be better. So then I realized I'm not the Goku in this situation. I'm Vegeta. You see, because I always had to sit back and watch Joe Black exceed his limitations. And it lit a fire in me every single time. And I realized that this man is willing to die for this shit. So now I want to look at you in the face and say, Joe, are you willing to live for this? Because I'm going to hit you so damn hard that even if you die, you will resurrect and say, you know what? I will live to fight another day because this is a fight that I want again and again and again. You see, years ago, it was Joe Black versus Victor Andrews, and that was cute. That was sweet. That was a lot of fun. But Joe versus Roosevelt is going to tear a rip in reality. You've been through some things. I've been through some things. Your hardest reality is that you always felt like you needed to prove something to everybody else. My hardest reality is not knowing how much I'm willing to take. My hardest reality is not knowing what my limit is. August 17th, right there in the Four Seasons Mall. I'm going to exceed my limits. I'm going to break through. And I'm going to be something so much greater than what you see today. And when I look on the other side of that wall, a better Joe Black better be standing there looking right at me. You fought Victor Andrews. But Joe, you're getting in the ring with Roosevelt, a man who likes to fight.
Oh man, this getting spicy in here. Oh man, Joe Black, what you got?
Roosevelt, a learned man once said, show me a hero and I will write you a tragedy. Now, you may selfishly think that in this tale, in this sweeping narrative, that perhaps you are the hero, but I'd have to disappoint you. The hero is me. I've been penning my own tragedy for 17 long years. I've lost years of my life because of this. I've lost family ties because of this, relationships. I've lost peace because of this. My hardest reality, Vic, has nothing to do with pro wrestling. My hardest reality was reality. And every day I had to convince myself to keep going, because if I slip, if I fail, everybody that I'm carrying on my back falls with me, and I just can't allow that. When you got the world on your shoulders, Atlas is not allowed to shrug. So, Roosevelt, I don't want you to think that I take this challenge lightly. I don't want you to think that I'm seeing past you, but what I see whenever I'm in the ring with anybody, I don't see an opponent. I see but another demon I got to fight within myself. I see but another shadow of doubt that my light cast. I see but another obstacle. And brother, it's nothing but love. But when that bell rings August 17th, I won't see enemy. I won't see friend. All I will see is a means to an end. And if the wages of sin is truly death, I've paid the Lord back in full multiple times over. So there is no way that you can hit me harder than death has already hit me. I got her lips right here on my neck as a reminder that I've died and I've come back every single time. You speak of Dragon Ball Z, I'll be a Huckleberry. If you are indeed Vegeta, that doesn't make me Goku. If you're Vegeta, that makes me Broly. If you really want to take it there, if you really want to test your limits, if you want to exceed your limits, you know what you got to do. You got to be beaten to the brink of death. And if you survive and come back stronger than you are now. And I will be that inspiration to get you beyond that threshold, because when the bell rings, brother, I don't become Joe Black. Joe Black is the mask. The bell rings, the mask falls off. And I become every demon that I've been tormented by. I become every vice that's got me in a yoke, in a stronghold. I become every bad, foul, dark thing that I keep bottled up. I let it all out. Joe Black is a placeholder. That's the least of your worries. So August 17th in Four Seasons Mall, I make no proclamation. I won't sit up here and say I'm going to reign supreme, because victory ain't what I'm after. You said it. You want to exceed your limits. I'm going to get you there. And I hope, brother, you survive that onslaught. Savvy?
Very.
Woo! Somebody book it. Oh, my bad. We already did. Hell yeah. I want to see it. Hell yeah. Take my money right now, damn it. I want to see it. Listen, I don't know if y'all felt that. Did y'all feel that?
Oh, I felt it.
Woo! Hold up. Let me air that shit out real quick. Jesus Christ.
But you know what? That's the naturalness. That's the natural reality. Like anytime I've ever stepped in a ring with Joe, it has always been, yo, what are we doing today? And the answer has always been, we're telling a story. And whenever we went out there and we told that story, people they were dictating it. They were writing in their books. Man, listen, I want to be able to read about this for years to come. I want to be able to tell my grandkids. The moment I saw a Victor Andrews versus Joe Black match, this Joe Black versus Roosevelt.
Hey, listen, they going crazy over on Instagram. Damn. Ooh. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. They going crazy for it. I want to see this match. I think that you guys are going to tear the damn house down. This is going to be one to remember. And I think that you guys are going to leave it all in the ring. I don't even have to tell y'all to be stiff, because I know it's going to already. It's part of the package. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the package. You know what I mean? Just leave people teeth intact.
I want to run back to something really quick. and Joe talked about it before when we got in the car and we drove down to Florida, and we had a show for Ring of Honor, and we were doing the little loop that they had, and yes, we got there a little late. Traffic was what we wasn't expecting, and Jay Lethal was there, but they still put us in a tag match and put us over.
Yep.
Like we went in there and we won both matches. We won our match the night before and the night after. And man, I was telling my lady this story one time not too long ago. I was like, me and Joe was so happy and excited. We was like, hey man, what are we gonna do to celebrate? And what did we say, Joe? Where were we going?
Please don't say Waffle House.
It wasn't Waffle House.
No.
What was it?
It's something Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese. You're right. Yep. You're right.
We was like, you know what, man? Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. And we was in the car and we was going to look it up. And first of all, it was already late at night, so nothing was open. And we were looking and was like, man, let's go. And then we texted and we looked at each other. We said, we can't go to Chuck E. Cheese. We ain't got no kids with us. We're going to be in jail before we even get a taste of pizza. What the hell? Man, let's go home. We crazy. that was one of my fondest memories, man, because it was a fun weekend. We went out there and we showed out. And the first night it was a tag match. It was me and Joe versus Chuck was a clown and I can't remember the kid's name, but he was one of Jay Littl's students. Not Fox.
Vineyard. It wasn't Fox.
Fox was in the 3-man the next night.
Yeah, you're right.
The night before was I can't remember the kid's name, and I hope he's still wrestling. But it was that tag match, and then the next night it was a 6-man. It was me, Joe, and Josh. Josh Woods.
Josh Woods, yeah.
Against Fox Vineyard. I want to say Chuckles and was one other guy. And man, listen, we was on a high. We was on a high leaving back and driving back to Georgia. Man, them days.
Euphoria.
Well, let me ask you a question, man, because this is a deep question. I had a conversation with my mother, and I was showing her some older pictures of her at different stages in her life. And I asked her, would the young her be proud of who she is now? And that was a deep question for her. And then she broke it down of, where she was at each level in her life, right? So I'm going to go to the young 17, 18-year-old Joe Black. Would that Joe Black be proud of the Joe Black that you are today?
I'm going to take it back even further to the 7, 8-year-old Allen, Allen Jr. I went through a lot of stuff as a kid, you know what I'm saying? So in my head, I created a mental construct to kind of escape to, because, when you're going through something and your mind can't process it, you got to find a way to make it make sense. So I'm heavy into anime. So I created this person that I felt like whenever these things were happening, if I was this person, I would be able to protect me. The deepest shit about this is I literally became that person. And I don't know if I was intending to become this person. All the pictures I drew, all the tattoos, the beads, everything. I used to sketch this person out. And I actually found one of my older notebooks when I think I was like 12 or 13, because I wrote poetry, this notebook's full of poetry, and I found a sketch. And, it was me when I had the dreads, you know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. So 17-year-old Joe Black would definitely be ecstatic and definitely proud that we became, my homie from high school once told me, he said, you literally became the creator wrestler. He said, you would create this dude in every game, whether it was No Mercy, WrestleMania 2000, WWF Attitude, whatever, you would create this one dude and you became that. So he would be proud. He'd just be like, man, how we get so, we got the muscles, we got the tats, we had the hair, you know what I'm saying, started thin, we had to cut it, but it's crazy. So yeah, he would definitely be proud.
Absolutely. I think he would be proud too, man. who we are is a combination of what we've been through and the wisdom that we take along the way. You know what I'm saying? That was deep. I gotta copyright that. But yeah, but I think that, you know, everything that we've been through primes us to be who we are today, man. So I don't know the young you, but I'm pretty sure looking at who you are today, the effect that you've had on people around you, and the trajectory of where you are going, that young you would definitely be proud. You know what I'm saying? So keep on doing what you're doing, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Straight up.
And
Yeah,
I
man.
want to say from the first moment I saw you down in ICW in Smithfield, North Carolina, to this point at this time, man, I'm extremely proud of you, bro. I honor you. I love you. You have always been the little big bro. You know what I'm saying? You've always been that dude that when like shit, we don't speak all the time, but when we speak, it's spoken. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you see Undertaker? Because we both big Undertaker fans. Hey man, you saw that, and we get hyped and we get excited and we become kids again just for that moment, and it's right back to business. And I did a promo for Trayvon, and I sent it to you. He was like, "Man, you already know how I feel about that DMX shit." That's
Mm-hmm.
I still remember that day. You know what I'm saying? I still remember that message. So man, just keep doing what you're doing. You may not feel like there's a lot of eyes on you, but there's a lot of eyes on you, and there's a lot of hearts that's carrying you. And you already know I'm gonna always be right here for you. Whatever you may need, if it's in my power to do it, I got you.
Love, brother. Love.
Damn it, Roosevelt, keep kayfabe alive, man. We just had a damn burner of some of a
Man,
damn promo battle. You know what I'm saying? You trying to make people cry on the inside? Stop it. Oh,
crying on the
man.
inside right now.
Oh man. Well, listen, man. What's next for Joe Black?
Next show I got is in Charlotte. It's the Ashe show that's curated by Darius Lockhart. My group Demon Time, which is me, Trevor Eon, and Noel. Noel be coming back from Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan against Ugly Gang. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope. These are all guys. Rayhan, I knew him when he was Montana Black. Big brother Cedric Alexander's on that show, and I ain't seen him, in years. So that's always cool. So anytime I could wrestle back home is a momentous occasion. It used to be PWX, and Darius has stepped up and filled that void, and it's an amazing thing he's doing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love what they're doing down there, man, in Ashe, man. That's something big, and I hope they keep that going,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I gotta plug the show real quick because we've been talking about it. So for the people who don't know, we have. Hold on, let me get closer to the camera. Clean my damn mess. We have booked the largest mall in North Carolina for a wrestling and gaming expo. There will be live wrestling. There will be food. There will be entertainment, a fan zone, meet and greet signings, everything that you damn need for a good time. And these brothers are going to go at it on that show, man. The show is called Mall Mania. We are so excited to be able to do this. This is the first of many, and they are going to tear the house down. Can I show a little bit who might be on the show, Roosevelt? Can I give that preview? Okay.
Absolutely.
I want you to look at this freaking roster. Look at it. Take all of those faces on. And even if you don't know these faces yet, they will be seared into your brain after you watch this show. It's going to be freaking amazing. Mall Mania. has been born. And Joe Black is going to whoop some ass that long man.
I need that poster.
You know you're talking about me though.
What was that?
Talking about, you said Joe gonna whoop some ass. That would be me. That's my ass. Why you trying to get me beat up all the time?
That is unfortunate, sir. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate news for you that you have to stand across from Joe Black. But listen, I know that you guys are going to put on one hell of a fight, man. I'm so excited about it. Everybody else is excited about this. We bringing out all the nerds. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be some cosplay, all that stuff. So come on to the mall. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be one hell of a time. I'm so excited about this. So shout out to you, Joe Black, man, for being on the show. Yeah, and just don't hurt him too. Just leave the teeth, okay? I need him to be on the podcast. All right. So just everything below the lip and below the bottom lip is fair game. You know what I'm saying? It's fair
so the chin down. That's just
chin down. Maybe upper lip up. You know what I'm saying? All of that is fair game. Yeah, but leave the teeth. I need the teeth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely. Listen, you have been dropping jewels this entire show, my brother, and it has been an honor and a pleasure speaking with you. We call this segment Final Word. We want to get some wisdom from the great Professor Black. You know what I'm saying? So, Joe Black, do you have a final word for your beautiful subjects?
Sure. This is for the younger cats in the game because often you guys get overshadowed, overlooked, and not considered when, us old heads, us OGs are talking about our shit and our journey and whatnot. I want you guys to always remember one thing when it comes to this business, and that is to be true to you. Because when you start in this business, you'll learn some of the people that you riding with now, they may not be riding with you in a couple years. Some of the people that you with outside of this, they may leave you because of this. You're going to sacrifice a lot. When you want to be great in something, sacrifice is a prerequisite to that. So you could be good at this. There's nothing wrong with doing this as a weekend hobby. I'm not one of those purists that say you can't do this and be a weekend warrior. Do you? It's your story. You write it. But if you want to be great in this and you want to go to that proverbial next level and make some money doing this, sacrifice is required. And I don't want you to ever lose sight of you because there's a sea of great wrestlers that have lost who they are. There are a lot of people who sacrifice what makes them to acquiesce to somebody else's vision or version of them. I used to argue with Booker T when I felt he was trying to change the fabric of who I was when I wrestled down at Reality of Wrestling. We would argue because to me, I can't change what I am. Even if you got 2 Hall of Fame rings and you've made money doing this, that's cool. At the end of the day, all I got is me. If I change the fabric of my consciousness, I'm going to go home and be foreign to myself. So always retain who you are. That's not saying don't listen. That's not saying don't heed advice. But at the same time, if that advice can't supersede your soul, keep your soul intact. Keep your head up. It's going to get hard. You're going to lose a lot. I've lost a lot. Some of those things, maybe they could be reclaimed. Most of those things are lost with the wind. But the moments I created and the friends that I made and the strides that I made, I lived my dream. The dream wasn't to be signed. The dream was to be a professional wrestler. I did that. Never lose sight of your dream and your goals and never compromise your vision. If you got some real solid people, keep those solid people in your circle because you'll need them. There are a lot of people I had to fall back on when times got tough, and I'm glad for that. So keep a solid circle, stay true to yourself, and stay blessed up.
Absolutely. That is a final word from the one and only Joe the GOAT. Joe Black. Oh man, Roosevelt. Do you have a final word for the beautiful people?
Absolutely, and I got to take it back to something I used to say a very long time ago, and that's to have a shirt, and that's don't just be anything, be everything. I remember there was a time when I first started wrestling, and we used to say, "Man, you can't model and act and do the boxing and wrestle. Like you can't do all that." And I asked them why, and so you got to pick one, and I did it all. And not only did I did it all, I made the front covers of magazines. I've gotten lead roles in movies. I have a movie out on Tubi. I'm working on some more. I was traveled around the U.S. at the time. Now I'm traveling around the world, and I was knocking dudes out whenever I needed to. But I was able to do everything that I wanted to do because I knew I could do it. I didn't allow anybody to put a limit on me because I knew I didn't have any limits. And if I did, I was going to exceed it. Because the only way I'm going to know how really great I am is that I keep going and I keep pushing hard. So don't just be anything, be everything. That is my final word for the best damn wrestling podcast.
Absolutely. That boy be preaching sometimes. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, beautiful people, if I have to leave you with a final word, my final word to you is a wilted rose is still a rose. Sometimes we feel like the things that we've been through, and when life beats us down, that we lose our value. I'm here to tell you that you are still valued, that you are still a rose, that you are still worthy. Just because a rose has some damage doesn't mean it's not still beautiful. Just because a rose has thorns doesn't mean it still can't be held. You know what I mean? Everything that you do in life, do it for the betterment of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can prune that damage off, you know what I mean, and show that you still have value to yourself, to your family, and to the world. But just because you have some wilted petals doesn't mean that you are still not a rose. You are a rose. You are valuable. And that is a final word from your boy, Brian Renegade. Almost reminds me of that Aretha Franklin song. A rose is still a
It's still a
rose.
rose.
Hey, baby
Baby
girl,
girl,
you're still a
you're still a
flower.
flower.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? But know your worth. You know what I mean? You are not what you've been through. You know what I mean? So a rose, a wilted rose is still a rose. And that is the final word from your boy. All right. Listen, this has been a great podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Joe Black, you are the man. Please let people know what you got going on and where can they find you.
I'm on Facebook. It's Joseph Black Cloud. Drop me a friend request, a message. Don't be weird. I'm on Instagram. It's JBlackCloud37. Same thing. Drop a message, drop a follow. Don't be weird. X JBlackCloud37. I stay pretty heavy on the socials. I talk to everybody that messages me. I don't big league nobody. Hit me up. Let's have a conversation. Just don't be weird. Please don't be weird.
Don't be weird. Don't do it to yourself. Roosevelt, what you got going on and where can the people find you?
Oh man, tomorrow I start opening season for the fireworks, man. So I got to go out there and start getting this tent prepared for the fireworks season, man. I'm expecting a very great season this year, man. Got to make some big money, big things. And I'm off from wrestling for during this season, man. I'm not trying to go nowhere. Only thing I got going on is just wrestling down in Florida on June 28th. It is a studio taping where a bunch of us are going to get together. We're going to get out there and put on some great matches ran by August Artois. So it's going to be a great. I've done the second one, and this is the seventh one. And I think this is going to be his last one. So I'm excited to go out there and do that. All these great talent is going to come from all over the U.S. and get out there and get busy, man. And of course, we're getting ready for this big show in August 17th, man. So big things is coming. I got the travels for going to Texas on the first weekend of August and the first weekend of September. Of course, you guys already know where you can find me at. Go to my TikTok, man. I need more followers. I got over 10,000, but now I'm trying to get to 15. We set goals and reach them. So follow my TikTok, official_Mr. Everything. I got some new workouts that I'm throwing up there. And we got a workout program that we already put together too. So you guys stay tuned for that. Big things, man. We trying to make sure y'all get stronger, y'all get healthier, so y'all can have a longevity of life that is owed to you. Don't feel like that you're not owed life. You are. As long as you're willing to live it, you are owed what God has given to you. So make sure y'all tune in, type in, check in. Y'all already know.
Absolutely. Yeah, you need that extra rest because it's going to take a surgeon to pull Joe Black foot out your ass. And so
I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Soon as I get out the ring, I'm coming right after you. I'm coming for you.
Don't come after me. I don't want no problems with nobody.
I'm gonna say, Brian, make sure you wake up good and ready tomorrow morning because we're going to the gym.
Yeah, like why you keep going down here messing with these people? Yeah, I ain't messing with you, man. Joe, have you done one of his insane ass workouts?
Nope, but I seen him.
Yeah,
I don't know if I got that in me or not, but I'm willing to try anything.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I've seen you work out, Joe. You trying to say what you trying to say, bro? What's wrong with my workouts?
Man, ain't nothing wrong with your workouts, man. I just don't know if I got that type of core strength. But like I said, I'll try. I've seen you do some crazy things that gave me pause. Like,
yeah, like
checking my elbows and my wrists. Like, I'll make sure can I do that?
Yeah, up here doing squats, bench press and squats on a medicine ball. Like, ain't nobody got no ankles that strong. Arms, nobody wrist that damn strong, man. Come on now.
You know what? Let's get in the show. Okay, I got cookies and milk to go eat.
Yeah, cookies and milk to go eat. Oh man. Well, listen, beautiful people, if you want to follow the show, you can follow us on all our platforms. You can go over to our Instagram at the bestdamnwrestlingpodcast.com. You go to our Facebook group, Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. We also have a Facebook page. You can go over there to the BD Wrestling Podcast where we put all our information. We also got an X, barely on there, but we got an X, Best Damn Crew. You can visit our Twitch, the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. You can go over to our TikTok at Best Damn Wrestling Crew, and you can go to our website, www.thebestdamnwrestlingpodcast.com, where you can go on and check out old episodes. You can listen to episodes. You can support our sponsors, and we got some goodies over there for you at thebestdamnwrestlingpodcast.com. So go and check it out. Joe Black, you got your paraphernalia ready for the show, my brother?
Oh yeah, I stay ready.
I want a Joe Black shirt or a headband or something. Yeah,
I got you.
That's what we talk about. Oh man, Roosevelt, you got anything for the people?
Nah, man, y'all just be ready, man. Stay tuned. Check in next week. We got a special guest next week. We got Beer City Bruiser. It's going to be a guest on next week when we have to hear about him, his life, his career, and his time in Ring of Honor, and of course, New Japan. So y'all make sure y'all check in for next week's show.
Absolutely, man. And we already got some big interviews planned for July. So just stay around, man. You know what I'm saying? We talked to the top of the top, and we had to get Joe Black on this thing to bless us. You know what I'm saying? With his presence, man. So listen, thank you for being on the show, my brother. You are a gentleman and a scholar, and I'm looking forward to the bedlam and mayhem that you cause in the wrestling world.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate the platform.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, beautiful people, we can't hold you no longer. Thank you to everybody that's watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Thank you to all the listeners that's listening to us on Spotify all over the world. We're in 40 countries, Roosevelt. 40 of them things. I don't even know how to pronounce most of them. but 40 of them things. So thank you to everyone around the world that listens to the Best Damn Wrestling Podcast. Y'all thought we were just in North Carolina? Hell no. I don't even live in North Carolina. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, before we sign off, Joe, we're gonna need you to help us end the show. You good with that?
Sure.
All right.
So
Brian,
cool.
What Brian's gonna do? Go ahead and give him the instructions, Brian. How you gonna do that?
So I'm gonna say we will see you next week on the next best. And I want you to say, damn. Okay. I want you to pull all them demons that you got in your belly. Pull all of them out for a second. Put them back in after we're done. But pull them all out. And I want you to give me a Ron Simmons like damn. A thunderous damn from deep in your gut. You ready?
Thunderous. Yes, sir.
Thunderous. All right. Let's do it. Beautiful people. Best damn nation. We will see you next week on the next best
Damn.
Wrestling Podcast. Joe Black, you are the man, the future, and the GOAT in our eyes, man. Thank you for everything that you've done. And we are going to look out for the bodies and body parts that you leave in your wake.
Yes, sir. There'll be plenty.
Absolutely. Roosevelt, boy, you better start stretching. Right now.
I just bought 2 more gallons of milk today, so I'm good.
All right. We gotta make sure that he don't drink no milk before the match, or else he's gonna be out of breath. All right, we can't hold y'all no longer. Beautiful people, we bid you adieu.